sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me, where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take a family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it all. Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this most unusual March the 21st Saturday. Yes, normally this room would be full of people, 6, 7 people making music as only turkey callers can make, but we know the world has changed drastically and continues to change, and you can hear the sound in the background right there as one of our longtime guests is on the phone, like all of our guests will. It's just me and Shelby McCall in the studio. My good man, Bill Cooksey, is going to co-host this from Jackson. Good morning, Bill.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
All right. And we do hear noise in the background. Let me see if I can hear some music. Play me a little music there. Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Look, I'm driving around scouting this morning, so here in a few minutes, I'm going to hold my phone out the truck window and see if he can get one fired up.
Oh,
okay.
That's great. Charles Petrey, how you doing, Charles?
Right, I just had to lock the garage door to keep them from coming in.
Oh, my goodness. So it's already started. we ain't been on 3 minutes here and everything. Yeah. Charles Petrey, a regular on this show, Plain Jane Calls. I don't know how many he's given away to me over the years to give to wild game dinners and outdoor conferences and stuff like that. And Bill Cooksey, of course, from Vanishing Paradise. It's always good to have Bill as part of this. And he's kind of said he's on a travel ban. And me and Shelby are locked in here 6 feet apart in the studio.
In fact, I was on a trip to South Louisiana last week when our organization came out with the travel ban. So
My
I
goodness.
finished the trip and came home.
Well, Charles, we're going to kick it off with you because I know that turkey hunting is so important to you. And I'm going to ask each of the guests, and we got another all-star lineup if it all comes together and with Bill's help and Shelby's help. But tell our listeners, Charles, how you got into turkey hunting.
Well, I started years and years ago.
How long's that?
A long time before we even hardly had turkeys.
Okay, that's a long time.
Class and I'd walk all day, and if we saw a feather or a dropping or a track, we had a good day. And that was back in the day. If he was red, he was dead.
Well, Bill, you understand now. You growing up in West Tennessee, when you hear Charles say that, you're a young pup compared to me and Charles, I know, but at the same time.
Where I'm from in Madison County, we didn't have any turkeys.
Didn't have any turkeys, no.
There was the thought of ever turkey hunting in this part of the country, outside of a few little isolated areas of Tennessee where I never really thought it would ever happen. It wasn't even a consideration. So,
and Charles, you're the same way. I mean, but once you got hooked, I guess it stuck with you, didn't it?
Yeah, I killed my first big bird in South Alabama. I had bought an Ithaca 10 gauge, and I thought it would kill 2 miles.
A 10 gauge? Come on, Charles.
And
you had to be young.
I shot that big old Tom at about 60 yards, and he flinched, and I shot him again.
Oh, you did? A 10 gauge.
Yeah.
So what kind of call did someone call it up for you? Remember that, or did you call it up?
No, I had a buddy that took me hunting.
Yeah.
He had an old Lynch call. He called it a turkey yucker.
Uh-huh.
It had bands on it, and he had on khaki pants.
Okay.
He sat down behind a tree,
uh-huh.
some shrubs, and sent me over a fence, and I didn't have enough sense. I sat down the blackberry thicket.
Oh.
And first turkey that gobbled just right outside that blackberry thicket and scared me to death.
Yes.
I waited till he went under the pasture fence and shot him, and he was a good 60 yards.
And you use a 10 gauge. You had an Ithaca 10 gauge. Yeah.
All of us used 10. I say all of us. Myself and Ray
Glass. Okay. Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Then we went to 12s, and now I'm down to a 20.
Well, that's not too bad like that. And Bill, I got to ask you. That first turkey, does it stand out in your mind too?
Yeah. I turkey hunted off and on with folks for several years before I ever experienced any real success.
Uh-huh.
And, a few times with people who really knew what they were doing, and the rest of the time, a buddy and I mostly just screwed turkeys up for a few years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we gave some turkeys some serious education, and I think they learned faster than me for a long time. And
you didn't.
The first one, I never used a 10 gauge.
Okay.
On them, but,
yeah.
Shooting a 12 gauge with lead shot, and 3-inch sixes. I mean, that was kind of the standard back then.
Yeah.
And, in the early to mid 90s. And heck, nowadays, you look at some of this new shot like TSS.
Yeah.
20 gauge is more effective at long range if you take your time and get it right than the old 10 gauge ever was with lead. I mean, we've just really made leaps and bounds to the point I'm almost wondering if we've gone too far.
Yeah. Well, Charles,
I patterned my 20 gauge, both of them with TSS number 9s.
Number 9s.
45 yards, and in a 1 foot square, they were putting between 290 and 300 pellets.
Well, I mean, those birds that we used to miss, and I have missed, today's technology, as Bill says, if you get them in, your chances are a lot better today than there was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm maybe 10 years ago. I don't know.
Well, we started getting the good stuff, all this various tungsten, heavy shot and all back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, okay, 20 years.
And it just took a while to figure out how to choke it. And now, heck, we're getting patterns with 410s that are solid out past 40 yards. And I don't care what we do to change ammo and guns and all. To me, a turkey's a 40-yard bird.
Okay, that's what I was. Yeah,
I have no interest in shooting them farther than that. Right. I hadn't beat them if I have to shoot. It's one thing to make a mistake, and I pattern my gun to 50 because I have made mistakes.
Yes,
but,
yes.
It's easy these days to find a gun that will pattern solid to that 40 and 50-yard range without killing yourself, and you don't even have to work hard at it. You can do a little online research and generally find something really good out there.
And Charles, you're talking about the 35. Is that where that's your norm now?
I'll shoot it 40. I usually I know where 40 yards is, and I'll stick to that. But you're talking about missing a bird.
Uh-oh.
I've missed probably well over 100 birds.
Oh, let me write this down. Okay, Charles Petrey missed over 100 birds. Yeah, okay.
I guarantee you that, and it's not because the gun didn't pattern.
What?
Every time I do it, I find that I tuck my gun under my arm instead of putting my cheek on the thing.
Yeah, you've taught me that. Yeah.
Pull up that way.
Yeah, you've taught me that, and you folks listening out there this morning, you have nothing else to do. I know you just couldn't wait for us to come on the air because you're not doing anything, and all of us turkey hunters, a special season this year. I mean, we can get away from a lot of stuff, and here's the chance. I've had more turkey hunting friends of mine saying, in years past, yes, I've got excited, but it seems like everybody is, with the way things are going, just to get in the woods. I mean, that's one of the real things.
And everything I've read about this virus is one of the best things you can do is get outdoors in fresh air. Yeah. And hopefully we get some sunshine. I'm about ready for summer.
I think we got our last little cold front coming through. We had our storms and everything, and I know that, as Charles told me, this is opening day in Alabama. I know that you're going to find out a lot of things. The youth hunt is next weekend. Young sportsmen in Tennessee. Arkansas, of course, they don't come out till April with their season and their predicament. We'll talk with a fellow who ought to know Arkansas later in the show today if we can get Jim Spencer on the line. Charles, how do you now you got your box call there. You got a couple of bidets there. Why the box call? Is that just always you felt comfortable when you started making these things?
Well, I started using them a lot when I started making them, but I still use a mouth call and a slate.
Okay, all right.
But I've changed a lot of what I'm doing even in Texas. When I get a bird's attention, that is wide open and you usually see them. When I get their attention, I don't yelp to them anymore. I just give them this little quiet.
I hear it.
And I'm right on up and volunteer to die.
Volunteer to die. Well, we got to go. We're going to take our first. Charles Petrey, thank you, man. Wish you could have been in with us this morning, but appreciate you taking time. Bill, you hang on. We're going to come right back. More turkey talking and turkey calling on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll talk to you guys. Hey.